He was the greatest genius of his time, a man who could build wonders and defy the gods. But when a jealous king trapped him on an island, his own genius became his prison. There was no escape by land or sea. So, he would do the impossible. He would conquer the sky itself. He built wings for himself and for his only son, but he gave the boy one critical warning, a rule that meant the difference between freedom and death. It was a gift of flight, fueled by a father's love and a son's burning ambition. But in the endless blue sky, would the boy listen to his father's wisdom, or would his desire for glory lead to the most tragic fall in history? Now, the story itself. Tenny presents The Myth of Icarus, from the collection Bulfinch's Mythology, by Thomas Bulfinch. Before the island, before the wings, Daedalus was the pride of Athens, an architect, an inventor, a mind so brilliant it was said he could craft statues that breathed and walked. But genius often breeds jealousy. His own nephew, Daedalus, began to show a skill that rivaled his own. Consumed by a dark fear of being surpassed, Daedalus committed a terrible crime, casting the boy from the high Acropolis. For this he was banished. He fled with his young son Icarus across the sea to the island of Crete, seeking refuge in the court of the powerful King Minos. In Crete, Daedalus's genius was once again put to work. King Minos had a monstrous secret. His wife had given birth to the Minotaur, a creature with the body of a man and the head of a bull. Ashamed and terrified, Minos commanded Daedalus to build a prison from which no one could escape. And so, Daedalus designed his masterpiece of despair, the labyrinth, a maze of such cunning and complexity that even its creator could barely navigate his way out. The monster was contained, but now Daedalus knew the king's darkest secret. He was too valuable to kill, but too dangerous to ever let go. King Minos had turned the entire island of Crete into a prison for the inventor and his son. Every port was guarded, every ship inspected. There was no escape by land, no escape by sea.
Father, will we be here forever? Will I grow old in this tower, watching the waves?
Minos may control the land and the water, but he does not command the air.
Daedalus watched the birds, studying their flight, the curve of their wings, the way they caught the currents. An impossible, desperate idea began to form in his mind. If they could not walk or sail to freedom, then they would fly. For months they gathered feathers, from gulls, from pigeons, any that drifted down from the sky. Daedalus began his work, a feat of engineering that mimicked nature itself. He laid the feathers in a line, from smallest to largest. He bound them together in the middle with thread, and at the base with soft beeswax.
They look like real wings, Father. They are magnificent.
Icarus, unaware of the true danger, played with the materials. He would chase feathers blown by the breeze, or soften the wax with his thumb, smiling, hindering his father's divine work with youthful games. Finally, 2 pairs of wings were complete. Daedalus fastened the wings to his own back, and, with a running start, he lifted into the air. He hovered, testing his creation, before landing to prepare his son.
Now listen to me, Icarus. This is the most important instruction I will ever give you. You must fly a middle course. Do not go too low, or the damp from the sea will weigh down your wings. And do not, I beg you, fly too high, for the heat of the sun will melt the wax, and you will fall. Stay close to me. Follow my path. Do you understand?
Yes, Father. The middle course? I understand.
As he gave these last instructions, Daedalus's old cheeks were wet with tears, and his hands trembled. He kissed his son, a kiss he would never be able to give again. They leaped from the tower and into the open sky. Daedalus flew in front, cautious, looking back often at the son he had taught such a dangerous art. The air rushed past them. Freedom. Icarus felt a joy he had never known.
Father, look. I can fly. I'm really flying.
He felt like a god. The world below, the islands of Samos and Delos, seemed small and insignificant. The fear was gone, replaced by a bold, reckless courage. He began to love the thrill of it, the power, and he began to forget his father's warning.
Icarus. No. Come back. You are too high.
But the boy couldn't hear, or perhaps he chose not to. He wanted more. He wanted to touch the heavens. He soared higher, and higher still, drawn by the fatal lure of the sky. The sun, that great golden eye, drew near. Its heat softened the fragrant wax that held his wings together. He felt a strange lightness. He beat his arms, but there were no feathers to catch the air. He was flapping only his bare arms. The god-like feeling vanished, replaced by pure terror.
Father, Father, help me.
He cried out his father's name as he tumbled from the sky. Daedalus, his heart broken, heard the cry.
Icarus, Icarus, where are you? Under which sky? On which land shall I seek you?
He circled, frantically searching, and then he saw them. Feathers, floating on the waves. He flew down to a nearby island and found the body of his son, washed ashore. He cursed his own brilliant mind, his fatal art. He buried his child, and named the land Icaria, in memory of the boy, and the sea, the vast, beautiful, and cruel sea that had swallowed his son's ambition, would forever be known as the Icarian Sea. Next time on Tenny Presents Theseus and the Minotaur from the collection, Bulfinch's Mythology, by Thomas Bulfinch. The story of Icarus is more than a simple warning against disobedience. It's the ultimate allegory for hubris. The key takeaway is the tragic conflict between the wisdom of experience, represented by Daedalus, and the reckless ambition of youth, embodied by Icarus. The wax wings symbolize a brilliant but flawed technology, a gift that requires immense discipline to control. The sun represents a natural limit, a universal law that cannot be defied, no matter how great the ambition. Icarus's fall teaches us that freedom and power are inseparable from responsibility, and that ignoring the natural balance of things leads not to glory, but to destruction. We just saw a father build a labyrinth to contain a monster for a king. In our next story, we return to that very same maze, but this time, we will not be trying to escape it. We will follow a hero who dares to enter its twisting heart, to face the beast born of shame and secrets. The tragedy of the sky is over. The terror of the earth is about to begin.